The cleaner the view, the better the results.
The small bowel. How do you prepare for that one?
To gently rinse the small bowel, patients switch to a low-fiber diet. Day before, the clear liquid diet.
The colon capsule.
For 2 days, a low residue diet. The heavy-duty rinse. First half of a cleansing solution. Then on the morning of the test, you drink the second half.
There's no sedation, there are no tubes, and no recovery time needed. Hi everyone. Today we're diving into something that sounds high-tech, but it's super simple. Capsule endoscopy. And with me is Professor Epstein, a gastroenterologist who's all about making this stuff understandable. Prof, we're talking about bowel cleansing today, right?
Yeah, it's obviously very important because for any kind of endoscopy of the large intestine, the key to it is actually having a very, very well-prepared bowel. The cleaner the view, the better the results.
Okay, Prof. Before we get to the cleaning, what exactly are we preparing for?
Well, there are two types of capsule endoscopy. One is for the small bowel, the 20-foot long, twisty digestive tube between your stomach and your colon. And the other is the colon or large bowel, the last 5 feet of intestine, where traditional colonoscopies go. Each capsule is about the size of a jelly bean and contains a mini TV studio. You swallow it with a few sips of water, like swallowing a pill. It travels through your digestive system, recording a video along the way.
So capsule endoscopes are like tiny drones flying through a tunnel, scanning every surface, silently recording footage from deep within the body's inner corridors.
Pretty much. And there are no tubes, there's no sedation, and of course no need to retrieve it. Once it's done its job, it passes out naturally into the toilet. You don't even have to think about it. Just flush and forget.
All right, let's begin with the small intestine, the small bowel. How do you prepare for that one?
Well, your small bowel is like a long, narrow garden hose. And to get a clear view of its delicate inner lining, we need it clean and free of anything that could blur the camera's vision. It won't be stool, as in a colon examination, but debris of digestion, food remnants, and bile-stained fluid. So the preparation for a small bowel capsule endoscopy is quite light compared to a colonoscopy. There's no heavy-duty laxative. Really, instead, our goal is to gently rinse the small bowel so the camera capsule can glide through and capture crystal clear images.
Okay, well let's focus on rinsing the small intestine prior to small bowel capsule endoscopy.
Okay, here's how you prepare. On days 3 and 2 prior to the procedure, patients switch to a low-fiber diet, identical to that recommended for colon capsule endoscopy, which I'll elaborate in a moment when we come to discussing colon capsule preparation. Similarly, the day before the test, there's a further switch to a clear liquid diet that includes things like water, apple juice, clear broth or soup, herbal teas, and even sucking sweets or ice lollies, as long as they're not red or purple, because those colors can confuse the imaging system. Solid foods are off the menu for that day. And then from midnight onwards, no eating and drinking altogether, to give your small bowel a chance to settle and clear. The aim is for the capsule to journey through a clean and transparent environment where we can see the lining clearly and spot even the tiniest abnormalities.
So it's like prepping for a gentle photo shoot inside a garden hose.
Yes, the cleaner the hose, the better the picture.
Now for the big one, the colon capsule. It sounds like it needs a bit more elbow grease.
Yes, it sure does. The colon is where stool naturally lives, so we need to rinse it out properly so that the capsule camera can see the walls clearly. Imagine needing to send a drone through a muddy tunnel. You'd want to clean that tunnel first in order to see the inner surfaces. And really that's what we're doing.
So how do we do that?
Well, it starts 3 days before the test. For 2 days, You follow what we call a low residue diet. Simple, easy to digest foods like bread, pasta, yogurt, chicken and eggs, and avoid anything fibrous like whole grains, fruit with skins, and seeds and vegetables. And the day before the test, you switch to a clear liquid diet again, just like with the small bowel capsule.
And then a special cleansing drink comes in.
Right, that's the heavy duty rinse. On the evening before the test, you drink the first half of a cleansing solution. We currently use one called Plenview. It's not everyone's favorite drink, but it's important as it does an excellent cleansing job. It's easiest to ingest if it's taken through a wide bore straw, like the ones we use to drink thick milkshakes, and not to rush the ingestion. Then on the morning of the test, you drink the second half. And we call this split dose, and it's very effective. It gives the best chance of getting the bowel completely clean and, of course, ready for filming.
So it's like pressure washing the inside of the tunnel before you send in the drone.
Yes, it sounds intense, but the payoff is huge. If the prep is done properly, the images we get will be as clear or even clearer than a traditional colonoscopy.
All right, I've swallowed the capsule. Now what?
So, after swallowing the colon capsule at the hospital, you head home and you'll be wearing a small receiver belt. It's a bit like a bum bag, and it collects video data wirelessly as the capsule travels through your gut.
So you're basically wearing your own mobile movie studio.
Oh, that's one way to look at it. And for the colon capsule, there's an extra step, a little booster drink. A little while after you've returned home, you drink another booster liquid to help push the capsule from the small bowel into the large intestine or colon in time before the battery runs out. It's a bit like giving your drone a final push to make sure that it finishes the job.
And when it's finished?
It passes out naturally. You won't feel it. You don't have to check or retrieve it. Just flush the toilet as usual and you're done.
Well, let's wrap it up then. For the small bowel capsule, it's a couple of days of low fibre diet before a day of clear fluids and fasting. Then the capsule does its work. For the colon capsule, it starts the same, 2 days of simple low fibre food, 1 day of clear liquids, but then the addition of a 2-part bowel cleanse. Then there's a booster after you swallow the capsule. And for both, all the images are collected on the belt. There's no sedation, there are no tubes, and no recovery time needed.
That's it in a nutshell, or should I say in a capsule.
And to anyone watching, don't worry. Your healthcare professional will give out easy to follow instructions, including a menu to help you with low fibre breakfast, lunch and dinner. And rest assured, the team will be on hand to guide you every step of the way. Thanks, Prof.
Well, thanks, Tim. Obviously, the clearer your bowel, the clearer your diagnosis.